Man, that was one rough journey through that boom tube. Once again, live on tape from a secret, undisclosed location hidden somewhere deep in the bowels of downtown St. John's, Newfoundland, comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, Wallace Ryan. That's me. A little bit of tea there to start. A spin of the old spinner rack here to start the show. Whew. It's actually a warm day here. I'm a little bit delayed because I actually had some prior commitments that I had to put above this one, but here we are. Anyway, is any big news this week? Not that oh yeah, the Legion of Superheroes seems to be on its way back in. That was probably, I think, the biggest news, which I for one welcome. Always was a big fan of the Legion, and I think Bendis is the man to do it. Anyway, let's jump right into the books, because I got a nice little stack here to go through today, including one that was short shipped to me, but when it came in, a lot of times if I get something a few weeks later, I'll just throw it on the pile, and a lot of times won't mention it, but in this case, I have to, because it's just, this person is just so darn good. He may not, of course, be familiar to a lot of you younger viewers, but anyone over the age of 40 will probably recognize this person. This is Legends of the Dark Knight, by Mike Golden. Dun 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 dun. Golden, he's probably best known for he did a run on the Micronauts. That was just absolutely amazing, and he did some stuff for DC too, and I always like Golden stuff. There's just a really cool look to his art. Now this one includes stuff from I do believe some of this is from Superman or Batman family, I think. Let's see here now. Batman family. He did a bunch of stories with Bob Rosaskis. But anyway, yeah, always loved. Ooh, and one ink by Craig Russell. Always loved his stuff. Great artist. Highly recommend it. So, if you've gotten other books in this series, here it is there. Check out some of the, like I say, he just has a really cool style to him. If you can find, I think he did the Nam too, I can't remember now for the life of me, but I think so. But anyway, he does great comics. Always did like him. One of the forgotten treasures of the late 70s and early 80s. I haven't seen him do anything in a while now, so I'm wondering. But yeah, absolutely amazing artist. Check it out. Mike Golden. And sorry, I had to have another sip of tea. I was out with the granddaughter today running around, so I'm a bit bushed actually as I find it. Next comes Angola Janga. This is a story, as it says off the back here. This is the easiest way to give it to you. Founded in late 16th century Brazil, Angola Janga was a beacon of freedom. For over 100 years, this community of runaway slaves thrived in fierce opposition to the Dutch and Portuguese colonial powers. So, yeah, it looks, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I've had a chance to look through the artwork and stuff like that, and I like the look of it, so I figured I should, this is definitely one to pick up. I mean, myself, if you can just sort of quickly look over a few pages and be able to tell the story even without reading what the dialogue is saying, there's some basic good storytelling there. But I like the style. Something very South American about it. Anyway, looks like a great one from Fantagraphics books. Thank you once again, Fantagraphics. Fantagraphics, one of my favorite of the smaller imprints, actually. I've always had amazing taste in books, and they've loved to see a hardcover hate collection from them. Now, back to the present day. This is Marvel Masterworks. The Spectacular Spider-Man. This has art by Sal Buscema, Jim Mooney, 2 issues by Frank Miller, 1 by Mike Zeck, and 1 from Frank Springer. So, I think I had pretty sure I had the Miller ones, because back then I was a big Miller fan, so I would collect anything that came my way with Miller's name on it. So let's check this out here. Oh yeah, this one I did have. Yeah, Miller did do a few Spider-Man comics, people don't realize that. But yeah, but mostly I do believe the vast majority of this is Sal Buscema though. No, mostly Jim Mooney, who's, you know, a serviceable enough artist. But yeah, good sort of good range throughout the book anyway, so good thing for people to have a look at. But yeah, not bad. So here we go, Volume 2. That's the Miller stuff there. You can tell it a mile away, can't you? Yeah, definitely, especially for any of you Spidey fans out there, or you Marvel Masterworks fans. Whew. Nah. Oh. Speaking of fans of great comics, we have here the Golden Age Batman Omnibus, Volume 7. I really love that these are tooting along there, and I'm gonna say I'm pretty well pleased with the omnibus line. As a matter of fact, there were a few. The DC solicitations came out today. Check them out, because there's a few omnibuses solicited then. I'm not going to talk about them. I'll talk about them in a solicitation show, but check them out. Some good stuff there. Anyway, back to this here. This is Volume 7. And with this one, the art, I think this is mostly Sprang stuff, I do believe. Let's see. Dick Sprang, Bob Kane. Well, not really. Lou Schwartz, Jim Mooney, and Wim Mortimer. Ooh. And a few other people. Anyway. Once again, this is the... I like a lot of this because of the Dick Sprang. Even though it has a very strange look to it, I always was a bit of a big fan of the Dick Sprang Batman. There's just something chunky and campy about him that I always loved. Let's take this. This is what's a bit big, so I'll take the cover off so I can hold this up for your edification. As a matter of fact, I've set about trying to read all my omnibuses, my DC omnibuses. So I'm still actually in Batman 1. There are some that I will skip over because I have read them before. But any ones like these, a lot of the Golden Age stuff, of course, I didn't read because I wasn't around when this stuff came out, right? Look at that. Classic Batman and Robin. I'm not a big Robin fan, but you know, Batman more than makes up for it. Beauty, hey? Yep, so yeah, I love these, loving these omnibuses from DC. Keep up the good work, DC. And don't go changing formats and stuff like that now. You got a good solid format, ride it for a few years, and put out as much stuff as you can, because there's a lot of great stuff, especially in the 50s and all that DC has yet to mine. Some great westerns, everything from the Secret Six to the Sea Devils, Dolphin, Tim Hunter, or what was it, Tim Hunter? The Rip Hunter, the time traveling dude. Yeah, so there's a lot there for them that they haven't even touched yet. Okay, now here we go from DC to their rival Marvel Comics, and this is the Hulk from Loeb and McGuinness, Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness. These actually, I haven't read these, but I'm a big fan of usually just about anything that Jeff Loeb has written. So when I seen this, I thought, well, just gotta check this out. I've been a Hulk fan since I was a teenager, so usually anything remotely Hulk-like I will pick up. Now this one has a good variety of artists on it. This also has the Red Hulk in it. But let's see now here. Oh yeah, Churchill, Portacia, Romita Jr. And yeah, wide range. Ooh, penciler Art Adams, Frank Cho, artist Herbs Trimp, Ed McGuinness, Loeb, Chris Giroso, and yeah, huge gang of people. Anyway, it looks, even just flipping through it, I kind of like the look of it. Looks like there's I think this is going to be a fascinating read. So yeah, I can't wait to get my little eyeballs running over these pages here. But of course, I'll give you folks a quick glance here. Ooh, look. It's very almost a 3D like image there. I like the wraparound, the cover. Anyway, let's have a look at some of that inside art there. At one point I passed by the that looks like the Art Adams stuff. Anyway, yeah. Looks pretty cool. So I haven't read much about the Red Hulk and such, so this is going to be a bit of a place to catch up. Like the Johnny Romita Jr. But yeah, so some hefty hulky reading this weekend. Okay, and I hope people liked last week's episode, by the way, where I went over the solicitations. I think once a month I'm going to do even if it's outside of my regular 4 shows, I think I'm going to start doing the solicitation show as a separate standalone episode away from the new books and all that. Because it's hard for me to, I mean, I've hit a few weeks where I won't have a few books and all that, but it's the type of thing I'd like to really just focus on the solicitations and talk about them, because it's kind of fun. Now someone said, well, you know, aren't these books that you'll be showing us a few months later? And it's just like, well, yeah, but I thought it would be a good thing to introduce into the mix, because I'm showing you the books when I get them, but I figured if I can, you know, put up the solicits and talk about them, I can show you what's coming. And maybe in some cases, and some people have said to me, I didn't know this was coming out or whatever. So I think I'm going to stick to it. Actually, but I will have it as a separate standalone show, and I'll shoot it over by like last week's over at my the other desk. So I like using the computer to go through all the different covers and such, to have a chat with you about them. Now, last for this week, and certainly not the least, is Weird Fantasy, the EC Archives, Volume 4, which has issues 19 to 22, which is basically all them, and Weird Science Fantasy 25 and 26. So yeah, this one too, when I looked over this, some great art. That's one thing about the EC books too. The art is absolutely astounding for most of them. Each artist had his own real great style, and I mean the storytelling was formulaic in a way in terms of the design in some ways and all that, but the art itself just absolutely stunning every time. So in this one, for instance, you have the likes of John Severin, Jack Kamen, Al Williamson, and Roy Krenkel, the dynamic duo of beautiful comics. Joe Orlando, Moore Severin, Williamson, Frazetta, and Krenkel. Let's see who else. Some more Frazetta. But yeah, some of the more classic covers too. I love this cover. I think this looks like a Frazetta too, actually, this one. But yeah, absolutely, like I say, stunning artwork all the time. Really cool stories. Let's see. Oh, George Evans, Reed Crandall, Wally Wood, of course. Way to go. George Evans, Orlando. So yeah, nice smattering of different people here. More Wally Wood, a lot of Wally Wood and Crandall in the later couple of later issues. Yeah. Ooh, Bernie Kriegstein. I know someone who's going to really like that story. A couple of them, actually. Derelict Ship. But yeah, I always big fan of the EC books. Will always be a big fan of the EC books. I'm sure in this day and age of runaway political correctness, some of these books may, no longer be palatable and all that, but to me you can't erase history. To me, erasing history is a bigger crime than whatever offenses may cause someone's hurt feelings. To me, it's denying history. Denying history is the next step before changing it, and that's why I can't stand the idea of people censoring books and all that. It's one step up from book burning in my book, and that's why I wish that DC would climb back on board and put out the DC before Batman said they were going to put out, because just from the historical point of view, they're out there online anyway. It's want to show the greater public what the books were like back then. Anyways, hot rod. But I love the EC books too, because they really give and same with any older comics from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. They're like a little time capsule into the thoughts, minds, and hearts of the people of the time. I mean, a lot of times when reading a lot of the EC ones, there's a lot of themes that come up that I see in radio shows. As a matter of fact, I'm a big radio show fan of classic radio shows like, Dragnet, where there seemed to be, every time you turned around a corner, someone was plotting to do away with their spouse, or they were having an affair, or a business deal gone wrong. A lot of themes I've seen in the movies too, and all that. And of course, they'll be there in the comics of the time too, because comics, like any other art form, are a reflection of their era. Whew. Anyway, that's it. Actually, let's give this a spin there now. So, only a couple of weeks away from my festival of graphic literature, Pure Comics, coming up here from the 27th to the 30th. If you're in St. John's, drop by. If you live here, you better show up. We want people to drop by. We have some workshops happening, teaching people comics. We have some vendors with stuff for people to buy, and we'll have artists there in our little artist alleyway type of area. So it's a little comic art festival that could, and I will post pictures of it, of course, and any little film that we get from it. Anyway, that being said, I think that's everything for this week. I guess I'm going to see you same bat time, same bat channel next week. Keep on reading, folks. Love you. Love you to bits. Come on, take me away. There. Sometimes it's hard to get the boom tube just right. Oh, I like the color of this one. Okay. Love you, folks. See ya. Bye.